What's up, Chicago? It's Kiki Said So.
And Medinah Monroe.
And we are CockTales Dirty Discussions, and we are on the way to Chicago. Friday, October 27th, we will be performing live at the City Winery, Chicago.
Everybody get your tickets now. You will also be able to order custom wine bottles with our picture on it.
Yeah, and they'll be signed. If you haven't heard of us, let's just let you know what you're in store for. This is going to be a night of sexiness and laughs.
I don't want to hear about how you were supposed to make it to the league. At this point, that was 20 years ago.
What else?
Your knee has been bad.
Congratulations. You made it through a successful cuffing season.
So many of us don't. The really great guy and is working on a separation. You imagine you get booked for a tree? How did that feel good against your dick?
That's like when people say sorry for your lost.
What is lost? My dog?
I have dealt with men that had low self-esteem and I knew it and I used them. And that is bad. I have trust issues. So when the patterns start getting weird on certain Wednesdays and weekends, off with your head because I want you dead.
You always take it too far. Even though I can't judge you, God will. Well, I would be judging the out of you, whoever you are the spawn of. I'm judging all of y'all. If you suck a little booty hole, you gon' meet your man. Suck that booty hole. Suck that booty hole. Put a little finger in that booty hole. Grab them balls and squeeze it. And squeeze it. And rock.
And this show will be a Halloween theme. So come out in your sexiest or scariest Halloween costumes. We can't wait to see what you guys put on. So we have different performers. We love cracking jokes, and we're talking about sex and dating and being on demon time all night long. This is gonna be so much fun. If you just head on over to the City Winery website, you can purchase your tickets today. The doors open at 6 p.m. and the show will start promptly at 8 p.m.
Yeah, check 1 2, check 1 2. Is this mic on? Is this mic on? Hey, listen, man. It's the one and only trendsetter DJ Sense, and you're listening to CockTales, Dirty Discussions with Kiki and Medinah Monroe. Yeah.
Today's cocktail is called Fall Hunch Punch. The ingredients you need to make the Fall Hunch Punch is 6 cups of ice, a half gallon of apple cider. I love apple cider. A bottle of Prosecco chilled, 1 cup of vodka, 2 cans of ginger beer, 3 apples sliced, 2 oranges sliced into triangles, plus more for the rimming, 8 cinnamon sticks, and cinnamon sugar for the rimming. So how you're going to make your Fall Hunch Punch: in a large punch bowl, you're going to add the ice, pour in the apple cider, the Prosecco, the vodka, and the ginger beer. Add the apples, oranges, and cinnamon sticks. Using an orange slice, wet the rim of the glasses. That sounds sexy. Then dip into the cinnamon sugar, turning to coat. Turn the glass, you know how to do it. And then serve your Fall Hunch Punch in rimmed glasses.
Welcome back to CockTales Dirty Discussions, you guys.
Hey, y'all.
I would like to be hunching this fall.
Oh, I would like to be hunching
winter.
this fall.
Well, I will be. I don't know why I say I want to.
Yeah.
I'm going to get what I want.
You just
period.
putting it out there.
Yeah, just to make sure that this is not a cobweb in my pussy type of fall. Okay. Anyway, what have you been up to?
Wait a minute.
What?
New.
Medinah was trying to start an OnlyFans.
My bad. Did I have a nip slip?
Yeah.
Join Patreon for more. We have to address this haircut. Kiki, this is so cute.
Thank you. I know we were both talking about getting our haircut. I see you extended yours. That's very cute. That's very long. I didn't realize how long it was. Oh my gosh, Rapunzel.
Cutting your hair is so scary, and I'm starting to realize, like, wow, like, India Ari said you are not your hair, but, like, yeah, I don't agree. You look good, though. You look good.
You. So I had scheduled an appointment. I really was thinking about doing a pixie. My aunt talked me out of it. And no, not because my head is so round and large and we don't really know if it's shaped right to carry a pixie. But she was like, are you really going to want to, like, curl your hair if you don't want to rock a natural look? And she was like, how tight are your curls? I said, they're very loose and it's leaning towards wavy at the top, curls in the back. she gave me a look, and I know that she was just telling me, like, that's not for you, baby girl. And I was like, thank you, because I don't want to do that. She did tell me I need to get a pencil flat iron for the back, because it's short, you guys. Like, it's like it's just like I'm reaching back a nub. And
wow.
I cut my real hair, and I went, and I had an appointment, right? I had a salon out here. And while the lady who did my hair, I think that she did a really good job on treating my scalp and my hair and like making sure it was really moisturized and soft, and she got it really sleek and everything. But I really wanted a cut, and I kept telling her that, and it made me wonder, like, did she cut somebody's hair too short recently? Because you know how it is when you ask for a trim and they give you a haircut because you didn't realize how broke off your hair was. And she's like, oh, you don't have to cut it that short. Because I was like, chin length bob, like, let's go. And she was like, no, you don't have to do that. And then she was talking about rounding a bob. And all I could think about was the Real Housewives of Atlanta when they was sitting around on that trip. It was like season 7. And they were talking about Claudia Jordan having a bob because she had longer hair. And she had like, she had folded her hair up under to like make it a bob. It looked bad. She had folded up under and it was just like whoop. And so everybody was like, well, what's wrong with a bob? Because the girls had bobs, and she was like, well, nothing if it's straight. My bob was rounded and it was going whoop up underneath, and I don't like a rounded bob.
Not the bump. The bump.
Yes, I looked like I worked at the bank. Like, I need 2 forms of ID, please, with gum smacking. That's how I felt. And I wanted a sassy bob like this, like that looks like I have an attitude. Like,
it looks like you have an assistant.
Exactly. And my assistant is scared of me. That's the look I wanted to give. I wanted to look like I need a power suit now. And this is what I'm talking about. It also reminded me, have you ever watched Daria? Her friend with Jane, I think is her name, with the bob. That's also how I was feeling, but mine don't go out like that. But yeah, I'm liking it. I keep shaking my head.
It is very new look who this. Do you feel different?
I do feel different. I feel lighter. I'm glad that I did it. I'm still trying to figure out how to like style it. So when my aunt came to fix the bob, and she's like trying to show me how to curl it myself. She curled it to give it like a tousled, wavy look. I can't get this shit right, so it's probably gonna be straight until I can figure it out. But I'm gonna keep practicing.
Now, when you go to sleep at night, because you can't wrap your hair, do you just cover it with a scarf or just put a bonnet on?
Okay, so I've been putting on some of our little Bow Wow do-rags from the live shows last year.
Thank you, Bow Wow. Thank you, Shad Moss.
Okay, so I've been putting those do-rags on. She suggested I just get a bandana. I don't know. I haven't gotten it right because every night it slips off, and I be tying it tight, but it just slips off. So every day I wake up, it has come off. So I've been putting the do-rag on, and then I put a bonnet on top, hoping... So short hair girls, like, what y'all be doing? I don't sleep pretty, and maybe that's it.
That might be it. I do sleep pretty. Not on purpose. Not on purpose at all. It just be happening. But this looks amazing.
I feel grown.
You look grown.
Like, I was thinking the other day about how old I really am. Go back and listen if you don't know. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, when my mom was this age or when my aunts were this age, I felt like they were so grown. And I do not feel grown. But I feel a little bit more grown with the little Bobby.
And the little Bobby is cute.
Thank you.
You know, also, if you're a listener and you specialize in like shortcuts, I have been saying I want to get my hair cut, and I am really scared. And I've done some consultations, and I'm not gonna go. I want to go shorter than this. Like, I'm talking about
like a pixie.
But I don't want to wear it straight. Like, I want to wear like my natural hair, and just like mine is like a start fresh to get healthy hair cut.
A big chop.
A big chop. And so I'm probably going to be crying, and I'm probably going to be stressed out and nervous, but I do want to do it. And the person that I did go to, they kind of were like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And then it made me nervous. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should have somebody else cut it that's just going to cut it. So if you specialize in short natural cuts, feel free to slide in my DMs, and I'll look at it and see, and we'll both be bald-headed bitches soon. Like, wow.
I'm just like, this is going to save me. I keep trying to run my fingers through my hair. My fingers don't even go. Like, what the fuck? It's going to take some adjusting.
What do you think made you want to cut your hair, though? Like, because a lot of the times we tie our hair to, like, going through a breakup, going through something traumatic, wanting a new look. Were you going through anything where you was like, I just got to cut off all my hair? Or were you just like, I want a new look?
2 things. One, I wanted a new look, and I felt like I had some heat damage on the ends. And so I think that's why she only cut a little bit. But she was like, you don't really have that much. Girl, I'm looking at it. The curl pattern is different. I would like to be able to confidently rock my natural hair, but if the ends are straight, cut that off, but cut some more because I want to see what it's going to do. That, and then I've been itching for something new. I wanted just something to make me feel refreshed. I wanted to get breast implants, but I wasn't ready for the recovery on that. So I figured a haircut would be a little easier. So I was like, let me just try it and see it. It's like, why do I stick to the same looks? And like when we were talking about style and stuff, I was like, I don't have like a style. I want a hair style that is my hair so that when I wear it, because I haven't worn my natural hair in so long because it's not cut in the style, and I don't want to look like I work at the bank. And if you work at the bank, I'm sure you are banking the fuck out of your life, and that's great. But I just didn't want to do that look, and y'all know the look I'm talking about. And I also didn't want to look like I play the tambourine at church because my aunt was showing me some other bobs, and she was like, now these are really full, and if I curl it, it might be looking like church lady. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to look like I want to stomp. That's not my look. But y'all be looking cute when y'all do it.
Have you seen the movie? I watched this on the plane. I love watching a good plane movie. It's called Ma, and it has Octavia.
I just watched it. I just watched it.
The concept of whoever came with them, I was like, this is so great. Like, normally the creeps are old white men kidnapping little kids. I love that they made it an older black, she's not even that old, but just a black woman who was creeping on the kids. But I've said that to say that when they kept flashing back to her in high school, that's the type of curl bump that's like, why would you do that?
Like, why did you put your daughter in these sponge rollers?
I'm not doing that to my baby girls.
That was a crazy movie. If y'all have not seen it, it's on Netflix too.
It's really good, y'all. It is funny and good.
And it's just like, it's this older woman who ends up buying alcohol for a group of like high school kids. And then she's really friendly, and they're like, oh, this is so cool. This is so cool. You need to be careful. Okay. But as time goes on, you see this is a crazy bitch. She's obsessed, and she takes her obsession extremely far. It's really good.
I love a good movie about obsession.
I love a good thriller. That's like my favorite genre. We've been reading a lot of thriller books in the book club too. We did one, what is it called? I can't think of the name of the last one, but I just finished October's book. You guys can join at any time. We don't discuss the book until the end of the month, but we're reading a book called Pretty Girls. And there are 3 sisters in the book that it's about, and the oldest sister goes missing. And then the other 2 sisters become estranged, and their whole family ends up falling apart. Their lives go in different directions, and it all stems from like when the oldest sister went missing. So then the web of, it's like a really intricate web of how everybody ends up being connected in weird ways. They do find, it's not a book where you don't find out what happened. They do find out what happens to the oldest sister. And they tie up loose ends. I hate when a book don't tie up the loose ends.
And you're just like, wait, what?
Yeah, but it's so good, you guys. I finished it today, and there's like a short story at the end too that I enjoyed that kind of gives what happened to the older sister from her point of view, because in the book she's missing the whole time, so you never really hear anything from her perspective. So the short story at the end, it's really good. It's called Pretty Girls, and yeah.
I love that you are inspiring people to read more.
Yeah, read more. There's some good stuff out there. I usually pick audiobooks because it's just easier to get them done, and I can do it like while I'm cooking, cleaning, doing other tasks, but there's always a physical book, not always an audiobook. If you like podcasts, I don't see why you wouldn't like them. We do romance every now and again too, but I'm just always like, oh, okay, here we go. I got to give the girls what they want. I let them pick a romance book about once a quarter.
We love a good romance. We love romance.
Scary. Like last month, No Lies Here, No Lies Told, something like that. There was a person in like the floorboards of a house. And that bitch was crazy. And you find out somebody who seemed like a sweet, nice young lady was really a stone cold killer. I mean, it's just crazy people out there. And it just makes me think like,
weird sex.
Weird all kind of things. Shit.
Yeah. Well, I actually have an answer for y'all this week as to what I've been up to.
Oh.
I am freshly back from Mexico. Went to Tulum with Paradise and Vibe, and this was by far my favorite trip. It was the shortest trip, but it was my favorite trip. It was literally just the right amount of time.
What made it your favorite?
Well, the feelings and the vibe. Like each vibe is different with the trips because you don't know who's going to come. You don't know if people are going to be ready to turn up they cop their bottles of Hennessy at the duty free and they have come into the jungle, even though it is hot as fuck, and they're like, let's get drunk. Or you don't know if you're going to get a vibe of people that are just like, I might not be like full-time wellness guru, but like I want a piece of this. I want to have conversations, vulnerable conversations. And it just felt real. Like from the second I met every attendee that came, I greet everybody that comes when they get there the day of arrival. And it was just like a different feeling. You know, sometimes when you meet new people and there's like this, I don't know how to put it in words, but I can put it in look. There's like this look of like, hey, okay. Or there's like, oh my gosh, hi, like how you do? You feel like you know each other already just based off of the energy. And the energy of each and every person that I connected with in Tulum in the middle of the jungle was just so
like excitement.
Close. It was just so close. Like we live our everyday lives and like everybody is going through stuff and everybody does a really great job of masking whatever it is that they're going through. And sometimes I'm always like, dang, like, am I the only person in this world that like, I know I'm not, but this is just when you get into your dramatic modes, and especially if you're about to start your period, you be like, well, okay, that's what was going on.
Yeah.
But you do go through some of these phases where it's like, okay, maybe I shouldn't talk about some of my issues because it looks like I have it all together. It looks like I might not be going through things. And so sometimes when you get in these vulnerable spaces where there are workshops catered to talking about what's going on in your mental or what's going on in your heart or your soul, it just is a connection that you get with people that you don't get to really do on an everyday basis. And sometimes even with the people you love most and your friends, because everybody has life going on. And it was just a beautiful experience. This was one of the first times we had like a really big keynote speaker, Elizabeth Gilbert, who is the author of Eat, Pray, Love and several other amazing books. She came, and even with her coming to that, I was like, I had talked to Ayana and Cassandra, the founders of Paradise and Vibe, and I was like, what are your thoughts on like us having a white woman coming to speak to like a group of Black and brown women who may or may not know who she is and just might look at it like, I thought this was a wellness group for Black people. And this is our first keynote speaker. And so I was a little nervous about that. Like, would people be like, why couldn't y'all get a Black person? And at the end of the day, it didn't even, she addressed the elephant in the room on her own. And her whole workshop that she talked about and lectured us about it was beautiful. We did activities. There were men there. The more and more trips we do, little trinkles of men keep popping in. And it's so important because a lot of the conversations that women have revolving around our hearts or our minds or how we feel about sex or how we feel about if you're in a heterosexual relationship, dating men, we need men in the conversation. It's like we be coaching each other through stuff, but it's like, let's have the discussion with each other in a civilized way. And a lot of that happened. She did an activity with us, and I won't go through each and every one. I don't want to bore y'all, but just it's something that really stood out to me. She did an activity where she had everybody like write a letter from the voice of fear. And she was like, I do this with everybody. She's like, I do this with kids. Like, it's just something that brings people closer together for some reason. She was like, when I am faced with like fear, I touch it, I touch my heart, and I'm like, you're here, you're allowed to be here. I don't try to like meet it with all this force, because every time I do that, I realize I lose. And so she was like, I allow it to be here, and I acknowledge that it's here. And she was like, sometimes I write a letter to myself. So she was like, I want everybody to like, get a piece of paper, get a pen, and you're gonna say, Dear Medinah, I am fear, and this is what I wanna tell you. And you go through all these things and you say, I'm fearful when, I'm fearful of this. You write this whole letter to yourself. She has you pair up with somebody that you didn't know. My boyfriend was there, so he was in my little group. And, it's very vulnerable, especially for everybody, but it's interesting when you get vulnerable with a listener. It's like people come that listen to the show and like, y'all hear us joking, Kiki. You don't see us when we have or have dark moments. And so we read them to each other, and then she asked one girl everybody's sitting down in this beautiful gratitude tent with incense. It was just so freeing. And so she asked one girl to come up and turn her back to us and read her letter. She read her letter, and it got emotional. And she said, whenever you hear something on this list that you have also feared, stand up. By the time the girl turned back around, everybody in the room was standing up. And this travel group brings together nurses, doctors, people who like, you looking at them like, you going through that? Like, you went through that. And it was just like this beautiful activity that brought everybody closer together. Like, you think that you want somebody else's life, or you think that such and such ain't going through nothing, when it's not true. Every fear wants you to feel like you're alone, you can't do it, you should kill yourself, whatever your fear tells you. And you look around, it's like, wow, bro, if we really just be like, all right, it's here, but it's gonna be here regardless. It's in every room you go into. People just don't talk about it. And it was just this eye-opening, mind-opening, soul-exposing trip that was also filled with fun. I don't want you to think everybody was just sitting around crying all day, but sometimes you do need to cry. And we realized this was a trip where people needed like a release. I got that, the attendees got that, my boyfriend got that. It brought us so much closer together, learning how to just like communicate with people and do what you do. Another thing that she talked about was like her whole theme of her workshop was the most radical thing a woman can be is relaxed. And it's hard for women to relax.
Yeah.
We wake up stressed. You wake up with so many things on your mind, and it's like, bro.
People are always coming to you about things, and it's just like, why do I have to be everybody's problem solver?
And the crazy thing is you don't. And it was her making us aware of like what you are stressed about. How important is it? Why are you so, and just like honing in on like, if you don't make time for yourself and if you don't learn how to master some of the works that people teach to learn how to be relaxed, specifically women, because men have no problem being like, I'm not doing this today. And I said that.
Yeah.
Women are like, we're worrying about what people think. If you work in a career that's like mainly men, you're like, I can't be weak because I'm a woman in here. If you're
and
a
they're
mom,
always gonna make a joke about it.
and they're gonna make a joke about it. If you're a mom, and she talked about how like in the most strongest people in most areas are the calmest person. And she was like, with women specifically, like she was like in the structure of like horses, she was like, everybody thinks that like the strongest person in the group of horses, I don't know what to call a group of horses, but the herd.
A herd?
The herd is the stallion. And it's not. She was like, it's the alpha mare. That is it's the oldest horse. She's the calmest. She's acknowledging
Grandmother
everything.
Willow.
She's looking at everything. She's able to like address things the way they need to be addressed from a calm soul. And it had me looking at my life like, wow, we really do be running around here just stressed. I don't want to say for no reason, because life is real. You have things to do. But it's also most of the things that we stress about, you can't even control it.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, if you put some sort of de-stressing activity in your life, like we did another workshop where it was like, you wrote down like what it is, what enchantment is to you. And a lot of people's letters, it had nothing to do with like, teach me how to work harder, teach me how to be the most successful person in this room. It was the most simple forms of happiness. And it was like, wow, you don't even do that in your everyday life. We're in the middle of the jungle and able to like connect with it because we're forcing ourselves to. But if you were able to apply that to your real life, how much better could you be? It was just a beautiful experience with strangers that now are friends. And I feel like I just once again got my life handed to me.
I was talking to my sister before we went to New York, and before we left, I was feeling so overwhelmed. And I've been feeling this way a lot. And I literally sat on the couch like this. The TV was on. I had turned on like 90 Day Fiancé, got a few laughs, but I wasn't really paying attention. And I was just looking at everything I had to do. And then I was thinking about everything that I actually did. And I literally sat on the couch for 2 hours. And then I started crying. And my sister called me and she's telling me about this video that she watched. And she was like, I forgot the name of it. But the guy, he had a name for it. It's like a common name. Y'all probably know what it is. I'm sure y'all will tell us in the comments. But some kind of anxiety. And she was like, tell everybody no. If you don't want to do it, stop saying yes. And so I've been doing that lately. And it's like, I realize sometimes I think people they're trying to be helpful. And I appreciate that. And so they'll try to think for me and be like, oh, you don't have to do this. But I'm like, this is the thing I want to do because this is what I like. This is what calms me down. And I'm pushing that to the side because I'm trying to help everybody and do everything and be everything for everybody as best I can. And so I was just telling people no. And so then I had gotten in a fight that night with this man because he had came over and I thought he was coming over to help calm me down, but he just added to the stress. And so then I got an attitude and I was like, if I'm telling you that I'm feeling overwhelmed because I have so much stuff to do and I haven't gotten it done. And part of the reason I haven't gotten it done is because I was helping you. Why the fuck would you ask me to do something else? And why do you think I'm going to do it? Like, you're not helpful. I got something for your ass. And that's how I was feeling that day and for several days after that. But I was talking to some other people and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to stop doing that. Like, where I feel like because I can help, that I will, but it's like, okay, I can because I have the ability to, but do I really have it in my time, in my day? Like, am I putting all of the stuff that I actually want to do for me to the side to help everybody else? I'm not doing that. I'm tired of doing that. And people can be mad about it if they want to, but hopefully they understand, because it's like, do you really want somebody you care about to constantly put you ahead of them? I don't ask other people to do that. And if I've ever made somebody feel that way, I'm sorry. I don't feel that way. It's like, do you? And if you got time, I could use your help, or I would like for you to do this. But yeah, thinking about the things that make you happy and make you feel like relaxed and stuff, it's like, I keep putting aside the things that I know make me feel relaxed to do stuff for other people. That's dead.
Yeah.
That girl is dead. She's in the trash somewhere with the rest of my hair. Side note, have you heard the like superstition where when you cut your hair, you're not supposed to throw it in the trash?
No.
Okay, so get my hair cut at my house because my aunt comes over. My grandma's there. So she's helping me by sweeping and everything. She was like, oh, I swept up your hair, but I just put it over there. And it's like in the dustpan in the corner. So she was like, what do you want me to do with it? I said, put it in the trash.
Right.
And so she was like, oh, well, you know. And she knew I didn't know. She was like, you know, everybody don't throw their hair in the trash. I said, well, what you do with it? And why don't you throw it in the trash? She was like, oh, well, there's like an old like superstition. There's two. You don't want to let your hair just be thrown out loose in the garbage because a bird might get it and you'll go crazy. I said, well, baby, I'm 2 scoots away from that, so I ain't really worried. Then she asked my aunt if she knew the story. And so my aunt was like, oh, I've heard that, but I've also heard you don't want to let your enemies get it. It's like voodoo and stuff, you know, the whole family from Louisiana.
I was just about to say, is this like, okay.
But it's a superstition, yeah. And so my aunt does hair, and it's funny because she lives in the house that my great-grandmother had, and my great-grandmother did hair too. She built a salon onto her house, so that's where my aunt does hair. She's like, yeah, dear, that's what we called her. Dear used to take the hair. She had a cast iron like pot or skillet or something, and she would take her client's hair when she cut it, put it in that pan, and burn it so that nobody could get it and do anything to them. It was like, your hair is safe with me, baby, because I'm going to burn it, and it's just ashes now.
And then you can throw the ashes in the trash.
Yeah, but you can't get a strand of hair because then all the ashes are all mixed up with whatever. You can't do nothing with that. And I'm like, is that why I'm crazy?
But you don't have to do that with weave.
Well, that wasn't your hair to begin with. Like your hair.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. But I told her to put it in the trash.
When I get my haircut, I'm actually going to tell the person, could you give me that?
Yeah.
Hair?
Sweep it all up.
Let's bag it up. I got to burn this tonight. It's going to be stanky in the house. Because
then
burnt
I'm like,
hair is...
It just smells really bad. But then it's like, okay, when you put it in the bag, what if the bird is poking through there and they still get the hair? And then I said, well, if my enemies are playing around in a landfill, those bitches already lost. I'm not worried about them. Because what the fuck you doing over there looking for my hair over there?
Right.
Anyway, just wonder if y'all heard about it. But yeah, I'm saying no to stuff and trying to make sure that I do more things for me. And I'm still feeling guilty about certain things. Like this week I felt guilty because I have a friend who's in town. I haven't had time to spend with her because my family was here and I just had my own things that I've been procrastinating on. I'm like, no, I want to do these things. I'm going to do them. So I was just like, no, I can't hang out. I'm not going anywhere. I'm at home. My family's coming over. You can come over when my family is here. That's fine. But that's it. It's a weird feeling.
Yeah, I think it's a process to learn how to relax. But I challenge every woman that is listening to this show to just try it in a simple way. Like, just try it and don't wait till when people say like, well, after I hit this deadline or when I get money, then I'll be able to relax. And it's like, it's not true. And like, even when Elizabeth Gilbert was speaking,
more
she was
money,
like,
more problems, more deadlines, relaxing.
She was like, as I've made it to the heights of this life, as far as like people see success, It's like, she's like, I look at some of my friends who have millions or billions of, she's friends with Oprah, so a lot of money. And she was like, and you still see some of these women who it's like, okay, you got all the things that you hustled hard for and worked hard for and
you still
sacrificed for, and now you need a Xanax, and now you need something to help you go to sleep. You still have not relaxed. And it's like trying to apply these things now, so that when you do get wherever it is that you're trying to go, you have the tools. You can say no. You can be like, and not feel guilty about it. There have been, my thing is sometimes I can't be listening to a lot of complaining. And I have been doing that a lot. I understand, like,
listening to complaints.
Yeah, where it's like in the when that's all the conversation is, that's all the conversation is. And I'm feeling guilty because I'm like, dang, I really don't, this wasn't how my day was going. Or it's like you are
having a good day, bitch.
Right.
And then you come raining on my parade. Like,
and it's like, we met for brunch and it's like, you gotta give somebody a heads up on something like that. I feel like it's respectful.
Meet me at nighttime for that kind of activity so I can just drink and go to sleep afterwards.
Not
at the beginning of the
now
damn
you
day.
got me, because now naturally when that happens, now you got me complain. I'm just now trying to find a complaint so that I can join in on the conversation. And I don't want...
I'd be looking like, can I get another one? It's like...
Yeah.
You're not gonna pull me down. Like, no.
Yeah, but
I get what you mean.
Because it can be something as slight as like you ask somebody like quickly, you weren't even trying to have a conversation, like, you know, how is your day going? And it goes into like, well, this happened and this happened and this happened. And then you to just kind of like keep talking, you're just like, oh yeah, that does suck. And it's like, oh well, I'm having a great day. And sometimes I don't want to tell people the great things because it's like, well, you just have this, you know what I mean? It's like, this is not fair.
I get it, but okay, if I do that, because I can do that sometimes. If I do that, I want to hear the good things to snap me out of it. Like, reality check, bitch. Like, yeah, you're having a shitty day, but there's still good things, and like maybe you don't get stuck in the moment. Maybe you could try that with people and see how it goes. I like it when people do it, because then it's like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Why are you complaining? Is it really that bad? Are you gonna care in 2 days? Probably not.
Yeah, it was just a very beautiful experience. That's all. I had a little Via hemp in the jungle.
Ooh,
girl,
you brought that with you?
I took it, and
international
I was
borders?
so scared because
how did you do it?
I put it in
your pussy.
No, I would never.
That's what the people be doing.
I can't put it in my pussy. I just can't. And so I put it in a Ziploc bag. And then I put the Ziploc bag in a shoe, and the shoe was in a shoe bag. And I was scared because I had a lot of merch with me. And when we got to Mexico, they did open my bags up, and I was like,
I'm going to Mexican jail. The cartel is about to come and get me, and now I got to be a mule for them.
Right. I was really scared because I was like, Tulum is a new city. I learned so much about Tulum. It's like 5 years new. I was like, this is definitely like
What was it, like a village?
It was a
Just
jungle.
like
They're still actively building it. But it's cartel money building Tulum. It just
drug
is.
money. It'll buy you what you want. One of the rappers said that.
Somebody did say that. And I get it. I was really looking at all the little workers like, you part of the cartel, Poppy. What's that, senor?
I saw something about, what's that man's name? El Chapo's wife, she got out of prison.
They said she didn't talk at all.
She didn't.
And that could not be me, because I'm telling you
Me
right now,
either.
I'm telling this where it's at, this where it was.
That's
this
why
where
I
it
gotta
be.
work, because I'm not going to prison. I'm not doing no bid for you.
I can't do it,
El
baby.
Chapo wasn't even fine. Like on TV movies and stuff, they be making the drug dealers
Fine and sexy. He look like a
Yeah.
little potato. Papas fritas.
Okay.
That baby look like a papas fritas.
Ooh, I hope he don't come get you, bitch. Is he alive?
I think
We
he's
don't-
alive. He's
okay.
alive. He's
Where
alive.
is he?
Somebody
He in
asked
prison?
that in Mexico. They were like, no, that's who Narcos was after. I was like, no, that was definitely Pablo Escobar. Pablo
Escobar is a person,
Yeah,
but
he's
I don't
dead.
know the drug culture.
Chapo is alive. I know the drug niggas.
Pablo Escobar is dead.
Pablo Escobar is
I
dead.
remember-
Chapo is alive.
I think the estate or somebody was mad at 2 Chainz because he opened that bar here, Escobar, and I'm like, why wouldn't you name it after something of your own? Titty boy, I don't understand.
I don't understand. Titty boy. Did he used to have titties?
I don't know. Maybe he liked titties. I don't know the story behind that. If I ever see him again, I would like to ask him, and I would also like to give him his flowers. I really enjoyed 2 Chainz. I don't remember if we have the same birthday or his birthday is the day before mine, but I've just always felt a connection, and I just love his ratchet ass music, and I just really love it. Did you watch the Hip Hop Awards?
I didn't.
I watched it. Why did I watch it? Because I didn't select that. Anyway, it was on. I watched it, and
How'd you like it?
So I watched it, and there were some interesting performances. While I don't really care for DaBaby,
His big old head looked like a pit bull.
he had a roller set, like Big Worm from Friday. Have you seen Friday?
Mm-hmm. You
know
know
what I'm
I
talking
have.
about? Okay, well, we didn't watch it together. I was just asking. But you know how he had them rollers in his head? Mm-hmm. That's what he had.
So
right?
he had like a quick weave or something.
Well,
because he don't have hair.
I think it was just a hat, probably like a wig hat costume type of thing. I don't know. But I did enjoy his performance because he brought out Juvenile. And, you know, I love me some Juvenile. You know that song Project Chick? So DaBaby has a song, it's like sample set. Anyway.
I dislike him so badly that I
love Juvenile. So Juvenile came out and it was good. And, you know, it's like the hip hop anniversary. Everybody's doing all this stuff. You know who else performed? LL Cool J.
Was it great?
I could tell he did a good performance. I could tell he took his performance serious.
He better, because when is the next time he gonna perform?
So you know he was talking shit about your man Jay-Z.
Well, that's not my man.
Well, no, not your man, but I know you like
just so the
Jay-Z.
people don't come after me. I love Beyonce and her man.
So he had said something, and I guess it was like to drum up something for the Hip Hop Awards or whatever, but he was saying how, like, you know, Jay-Z don't show up to shit and like blah, 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 blah. That's that sort of things. LL Cool J said. Something to that effect a while ago. I don't think he has stands, so I don't think anybody will come for us about that.
Okay.
Anyway, he did like a big performance at the show, which I'd be forgetting that he made music.
Jay-Z?
No, LL Cool J.
Oh, yeah.
I think about him doing like family movies and stuff like that. Fine man, so I'm always happy to see him across my screen. But he got up and he performed. I did not like his outfit, but he did
never
like
was a stylish man.
But people liked his style, and he was like a guy that the boys was looking up to. I don't know, I don't get it, but I'm also not a boy, so I'll stay in my lane. But I felt like his energy was really good. It seemed like he had been practicing. And he was like, I am taking my performance serious. Unlike many of the other people who got up there on that stage that night, and I was just confused. They also did a So Def performance, and I was wondering if they were going to bring Bow Wow out.
Did they?
They did. Because you know him and Jermaine Dupri were beefed up for a minute. And Debrat came out and she performed. Face beat as always. She had on her boy clothes. And she did just have that baby, but she got out there and she cut up and she did good. All the So Def people did well. Chingy performed. Chingy.
I thought his mental state was not good.
You know, when everybody was talking about all of the scandals back in the day, I think it wasn't. But he pulled himself together.
I'm proud of him.
His face looked good. He still looks the same in the face. But I did not like his outfit. He had on like a Unabomber / brunch fit. So he had on like a bomber coat, but then he had like some rolled up little pants and some brunch boots, but not like the suede. Remember, because it was like a whole So Def medley. So then they did a song where there were all these different people on the song, and he was one of the people on the original song, so he came out at the end and did it. And I just wish he could have had more time on there, because I was a Bow Wow girl. I didn't care about...
You couldn't tell me nothing about Bow Wow.
I was getting married to Bow Wow.
I was too, and I remember one time he was doing a pop-up at Six Flags over Texas, and I was like, Mom, can I please go? She let me go. She dropped me and my friends off, and we had our little summer pass, and I went in there, and we saw Bow Wow walk through the gates, and I just ran up to him, and I was like, I love you, Bow Wow.
I remember and I'm embarrassed to admit this because at this point I'm in college, but my freshman year at college, he was at the Howard homecoming and he was like a part of it. And I just happened to be going to the lobby in my dorm to get a snack, and he was in there, and I really wanted to fangirl, but I didn't. I kept it cute. I don't know why I would have fangirled in hindsight. Like, girl, what did you think was going to happen? But yeah, I love me some Bow Wow. So he performed. Who else? Glorilla performed. The City Girls performed too. I thought that they looked beautiful. And then it made me think.
I have a question about Carisha. I just don't want to forget it. So just you finish your statement.
Okay, so I remember watching like all of like the behind the scenes stuff that like MTV and E used to put out about all of the different artists when they were coming up and when they were actually like working hard to be artists. And so of course, I'm about to talk about Beyonce. So I remember Beyonce distinctly remember her talking about her parents making her run on the treadmill and sing the song.
That is love. Oh, I can't wait to have my daughters.
So that you can have breath control on the stage. So watching the City Girls, as beautiful as they look, that's immediately what I thought about.
Because they was out of breath?
Well.
But
they look good. But I didn't, people like them.
Them babies couldn't breathe.
This is what I be wondering. Y'all not vocalists. So, like, let the track play and get out there and pop that left hip, right hip, and shake a little ass and give us the looks like, we don't need to hear you live. It's okay, lip sync it.
Yeah.
I don't really mind when I see that because it's like, I'm not expecting you to blow the house down. The mic can be off. It's cool.
Yeah.
I think they doing too much.
Yeah.
The team, not even them. They probably were trying, but like, you really have to cut out a lot of stuff. What's your question about?
Now I feel like I can't ask the question because I'm going to sound like a hater.
What?
Hate being aware. I was going to ask a question about, this is what I was going to ask you, but we can just skip over the whole conversation. But this is what I was going to
What?
This is what I was going to ask. Did you can just say yes or no, have any thoughts about Carisha Please winning the Podcaster of the Year?
That's not a podcast.
Award.
That's how I feel about it. It's not a podcast. People get YouTube shows and Revolt TV shows, which are one and the same. No shade to them. Mm-hmm. But having mics in front of you doesn't make it a podcast. Where's your RSS feed? Like, do you really know what a podcast is? And it's okay to call a spade a spade. Mm-hmm. You have a show. Mm-hmm. You have a talk show. And that's fine. You don't have a schedule. Mm-hmm. You don't have release dates. You just do it at your whim. And that's amazing to be able to do that, I guess. Mm-hmm. But that's not a podcast. But just like she got like Hip Hop Platform of the Year, and it's just like, well, I enjoy Carisha Please. Mm-hmm. When it comes out every so often. This is not a podcast. Yeah. Like, why are we calling this that?
Why are we calling this that, and why are we doing this?
I feel that way about a lot of people, but that's what I think about it.
That was my question. Oh, you know what?
What?
This was really cool. And it's just always very cool to me. Two quick stories. The first one will be when I was leaving Mexico and I was in the Cancun airport, I was looking through one of the shops looking for some hot sauce. I got some habanero mayonnaise. Do you like mayonnaise?
No.
I do. Like on a burger, on a sandwich, like I love it. Y'all know I love a good turkey sandwich.
Like an aioli to dip fries in, and like a mayonnaise base is fine, but plain mayonnaise I can't do.
So this is like a mayonnaise base, but it has habanero and like different herbs in it. It is so good. I would say I'm gonna make you a turkey sandwich and bring it, but I know you're not gonna eat it.
I'm not.
But so I was looking for like little that way. Like, are you the broadcasting woman? And I was like, yeah. He was like, oh my gosh, can I hug you? And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, where am I nigga at? Because I don't want, or he probably looking like, what the fuck is going on over here? And so like, because we're in Cancun. So I'm like, okay. So I give him a hug and he was like, I listened to the show and I follow you on Instagram and I just really, really, really love the show. And then I was like, okay, he does listen to the podcast.
How old is he?
He was older.
Okay.
I couldn't tell.
The broadcasting one, that's a my pop.
Yeah, he was older, but I was like, wow, that's so dope to be in Cancun and like somebody is here that listens to our show. But then another thing that was really cool was there was a moment where we thought we were going to a cenote, but we weren't going to a cenote. We ended up going to like a lagoon and just like hanging out there for the day. And Elizabeth Gilbert came. We had different vans. We're in a van. Ayana is expressing her feelings to Elizabeth Gilbert and telling her how she had found out about her and just telling that whole story. And she's like, this is so cool because I've never told this story before. And the fact that I get to tell this story to you is just amazing. So I'm sitting in the back of the bus listening and everybody's eyes are getting juicy. Like, oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. Like she had she has a footprint in your life, like with the trajectory of how your life went when it wasn't going great. She gave you some hope. And so I was in the back and I was talking to my man, and I was like, wow, like that's so cool. I was like, people be helping people and you don't even know that you're helping people. And there was this girl, her name was Mercedes. She was sitting to the right of me, and she was like, she grabbed my knee and she was like, you don't understand. That's what y'all are doing through CockTales. She was like, that's why I'm here. She was juicy eyed, and I was like, really? And she was like, yes. And I was like, oh my God, that is so dope.
It really is.
It's just everything was.
It's easy to forget when like doing an actual podcast, you don't get to see the people
at all.
You don't really get to communicate with them. Like when you listen on Apple Podcast, there's no comment section. We just see your shady ass reviews when y'all get mad about stuff. And we also see the really nice reviews that make us smile. But it's like there's no back and forth. It's just us.
Yeah.
So it's nice to meet those people, I'm sure.
And feel that and be like, okay. I'm
doing something.
Yeah. Like sometimes you had to take a step back and look at like what you asked for did actually happen.
I had posted something a while ago. It was like that sound that was trending on Instagram, and it was like, you need to, something to the effect of, you need to take a second because you're living the life that you used to want, or something like that, or living one of the dreams that you used to want. And I was like, you know what? I have to remind myself of that sometimes. I usually do it when I'm feeling down, because it's like, okay, pick yourself up, bitch. Everything's not bad. Maybe it's not going your way, or you have new wants, but like think about where you were 10 years ago. And where you are now, and thank God it's different, because if not, I would be in a psych ward probably, or jail.
Yeah.
Or probably just snapping on somebody. But you know, sometimes you got to find a way to turn that frown upside down. It's nice. I felt that way when I was at that restaurant in Curacao, and the girl came up and she was so excited. And then somebody had sent me a message later, and she was like, I saw you too. I should have did the same thing. And I was like, no, it was two of y'all. I was feeling so good about two fucking people. But it just made me so excited. It feels so good. And every time, I don't know, you probably feel the same way, when you meet people who listen to the show, or maybe even just follow you, and they like something about you, and they say that they were scared to say something because they didn't want to interrupt, they didn't want to do this, and it's just like,
interrupt me,
bitch,
baby.
I love it. We can't say it enough because it matters, and you never know when we might be feeling like giving up or just having a bad day. And then y'all say those things, and it just feels good.
Like Jared Freed said, who y'all already know, I was fangirling over him, and I don't fangirl over many. I really don't. But he is one of my favorite comedians. And he was like, this is one of the best forms of a compliment when somebody is, for content creators, for podcasters, for anybody who is creatively doing their work. It's like, bro, to tell somebody your appreciation for them, if I was to receive that wrong, that's crazy. Like, I couldn't imagine going up to somebody and being like, I love your podcast. I just thank you for that. And that's like, I know you're giving me a positive message. You're not walking up and like, oh my God, like you look skinnier on Instagram. That's different. But like keep
that to yourself.
I love your podcast. I love listening to it. That is such a dope compliment. Like, it goes way far. Even when I get it on Instagram, it's like, thank you for letting me know this, because like Kiki was saying, it's like, this shit ain't just all rainbows and gummy bears. It'd be rough sometimes to come here and sit here when you're not maybe in your personal life having such a great time. Or
you got to put it on, or y'all gonna have an attitude about us having a bad day, or whatever, you know. And it's like,
or you're
we're
tired,
still people.
Or if we're at odds. It's like, there are a lot of things that come into play, and someone might comment if this makes it as a clip. Sometimes when people put like, well, you decided to make a podcast, you're right, I did. So thank you for all the comments.
And you decided to comment, and I decided to hit reply, bitch, and comment back. So let's go.
Yeah. With that being said, we still have feelings and natural emotions where sometimes you don't want to show up and be
we're
your
not
best.
Acting.
Yeah.
So it's not like we decided to go be actresses.
And we're
be in a
not
movie.
fucking Diddy. So it's not like we have like this huge backing behind us. We do everything ourselves. So sometimes there's just stress levels that people that are winning podcast of the year don't. It's time for weird sex.
You said a man is not a necessity, a man is a luxury.
Like dessert. Yeah. Man is absolutely not necessity.
Did you mean that to sound mean and bitter?
Oh, not at all. I adore dessert. I love men. I think men are the coolest. But you don't really need them to live.
Okay. All right, you guys. So this week's Weird Sex, I have a story about you. This man, he was probably having a really shitty day himself. So he was on a train in Scotland somewhere, and he decided, you know what? Fuck all this shit. It's time to get fucked up, right? So he gets drunk. Well, he was so drunk, y'all, he tried to fuck the beverage cart. Like I guess like on a plane, this train is like a plane where they have the little people coming down the aisle with drinks, and he's only 25 and he was just cutting up. And I just wonder, like, what's going on in your life? I hope he gets help. But he groped a woman on the plane, not okay. He attempted to kiss a staff member.
You're in trouble.
That didn't go well. And then he tried to fuck the damn trolley. And so he shouted, "I want to kiss you. I want to fuck you," as he mounted the damn beverage cart. Now, all I wanted was my bubbly. And now you done pulled your little paddywhacker out and you're trying to fuck the beverage cart. And I can't even get no wine for this long-ass train ride across Europe because you decided that you want to fuck something. Like, if you don't get you a toy from somewhere else and put it on your blanket like normal people do.
Yeah, that's what?
Anyway.
That's one of the. I wonder if he woke up the next day like, what did I do?
He admitted to causing fear and alarm and behaving in a threatening and abusive manner when he had to go to court. And he got sentenced to 100 hours of community service. But I guess because he didn't actually do anything to a person, I don't know how it works over there in Scotland, he's not on the sex offenders list. But watch out for him. I couldn't find a picture of him. I'm going to keep searching. Hopefully by the time the episode comes out, I can put a picture up. If not, just ask a man, have you ever been to Scotland? Did you ride the train? Did you try to fuck a beverage cart? And then you'll know.
I do want to know what he looks like because I'm rewatching Outlander.
I
And
love
Jamie
that show.
is
Where
so
is the new
fine.
season? Now, one time you told me he was not fine. He is fine.
I think Jamie's fine. I just love his body, his spirit, and
I don't like when he
everything
pulls
else.
his hair straight back. Though.
I don't either.
Keep a little bang.
Yeah.
Because he has a big ass forehead. But just the way he was taking care of that lady.
And just how strong he is, how he be making it through every trial and tribulation.
And century. Ooh.
Could you imagine, like, if something happened, like you're frolicking through a field and you just happen to just come across some stones and you don't understand what the stones are. You touch one and you wake up and you're a slave. But you know everything that you already know. You know what's going to happen.
Where is Harriet Tubman? Do you know Harriet Tubman? That's when I need to find my way to freedom. Y'all know it's an underground railroad. I'm gonna get in trouble.
You're gonna be in trouble.
And then I'm probably gonna have to fuck the master because I'm gonna be like, all right, well, I got my ass beat too many times. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna be a freedom fighter. I'm not. I'm just gonna submit and.
But could you imagine really fucking the master and like you take control? We're applying things that like women do now when you're having sex. And like, because there was a part in Outlander where Claire is having sex with Jamie and he does.
He
sex
didn't know
back
how to
then
have
was
sex.
rape. They were just raping bitches. He was like, I didn't know that women could take pleasure. And she was like, no, I'm going to show you how to eat pussy. She taught him how to eat pussy. She was like, now let me show you what my mouth can do. She went down, started sucking his dick. And then she was like, let me show you what it's like when I take charge. She smashed him down. He was like, what? She pulled his hair.
You know what? I wonder if I could introduce BDSM and just start killing masters across the South.
I'm telling you.
I could be a revolutionary.
You really could, but you would have to tread lightly because you also wouldn't want them to be like, this bitch is a witch. Why does she read so well? She talking, she's named. Because remember, Claire also had to, she was like, do you guys know where Germany is? And they were like, Germany? States and countries hadn't been named yet. Like it was, like I would be like, whoa, please. Everybody bear with me.
But should I lean in? It depends on where I'm a slave at. Like, where did I wake up at?
You're in the deep South.
But which part?
Let's say you're in Georgia.
Oh, hell no. Take me to Louisiana, please. I need to be in Louisiana. I don't know what to do with any of these other states. Georgia and South Carolina, I'm going to be dead.
Yeah. No. I think I would I would live.
And I definitely wouldn't want to be in the Caribbean. Ooh, it's hot.
I mean, that would just be, I really wish.
Ain't no Lumi deodorant.
I don't even know what they were doing for it to smell good.
I don't think that they were smelling good. I think it was just, it is what it is. Because, it was our African brothers and sisters who were telling the people, y'all fucking stink. You need to put some vanilla in this soap. You can't just be
Could you
not
only-
bathing. The fuck?
but could-
y'all are funky.
Stanky is the word, but they weren't worried about that. Could you imagine, like, you did wake up in slavery and, like, you fell in love with a slave and you had the opportunity? Because remember, Claire, at first she was trying to get back, and then she was like, I love Jamie. I don't actually want to go back to my real man in my correct century.
And then her real man was really a fuck nigga in the olden times. But I mean, it was his ancestor, but they were the same. Whew.
And then could you imagine if you saw a friend or a family member, just how Claire did in Outlander, and like they're a bad person, like they're one of the slaves where they're like, you're trying to help everybody, and they're like, no, like I'm working with the master, like we gonna beat these
Uncle
niggas.
Tom? Is that
And
you?
it was like, let's say it's like someone who was very close to you, like, but they look exactly like them, just like Outlander, how her husband was like a rapist and just a horrible person, and you're like, oh my gosh, you don't even understand, like you're a descendant of like my best, in real life we're best friends, but you can't say that. You got to be like she, like we're poisoning the slaves and we're setting them up to get beat. We're telling on them if they miscount their cotton, and you have to be like, what?
That sounds like a very stressful life. So I'm glad that if I was reincarnated, I have no memories of that life. And please don't send me back.
Please don't send me back. There's a book. I don't know how we got on slavery, and then we'll switch. No, but there's a book. It's called "They Were Her Property." I think that's the name of it, something like that. And it's about white women's role during slavery. And the white women were worse than the men. Like,
Yeah.
they was just having people get.
Sometimes it's like, did times really change?
Did
But
they? No, because
Karens.
Karens and Sharons and Kellys. That book is insane when it paints how evil white women were for no reason. Not that there was a reason at all, but it would be like, it wasn't even like the slave did something that they weren't supposed. It was like she was just like, I bring her
I'm
in
white,
here so
you're
I can
black.
beat on her and pull her teeth out. What? If I did wake up, I'm telling you right now, I'd be like, we having a meeting in the tent, and this is what we about to do. I don't want to hear nothing, Myrtle. Stop being scared. Samson, pull your britches up. We murdering tonight.
Like, what weapons we got, Medina?
We busting niggas. We poisoning them. We cooking.
Where is the poison? You brought poison in your pussy when you smuggled it to the other century? Like, bitch, we gotta get a real game plan. We can't just be talking shit. Oh my gosh, could you imagine? That would be so scary. Please
It would be very scary.
Like, how would I even? Okay, so that one, she was like at Stonehenge or something, somewhere with the fairies. Okay, so like, what we doing? We're at the strawberry patch picking peaches and apples and shit down in South Georgia, and then we step in a hole thinking we're having a good time. What if I was with Walker and we both went back? Now I'm gonna say, now Walker, and do you remember me? And what side you on? Woo.
That needs to be a show. If there are any writers that listen, you need to write that into it, because
That
it
is
really
it's a show and a book.
where slavery happens, where they go back into slavery.
Yes, it's called Kindred. It's a very popular book. They turned Kindred. Like,
is it on Netflix?
It's on Hulu. I don't recommend the TV show. I tried to watch it. I didn't really like it. They based it on the book. Read the book. But there's a woman, she's in New York, and something happens, and she ends up going back in time to slavery, and she goes back and forth, kind of like how Outlander does.
Mm-hmm.
But she's going back and forth, and there's all these different things. She befriends the master's son.
You got to act like you can't read. You have to act
All of
like you
that
don't
stuff.
know that we're going to be free, or else they will bust you upside your head. Like, what?
And then it's like, okay, so is this happening because I'm supposed to make a difference? I got the weight of the black world on my back because I got to make a difference because I know what's up.
Bro.
And again, who the fuck knows where Harriet is?
They
Which
would be
way?
like, who? Who are you talking about? Because I didn't even realize that Harriet didn't even make it down to the South.
Yeah, that's why I got to get to her.
Yeah, they would be looking at you like, you got to go. And you
I
need,
gotta get
and
on
they would
and-
also be like, you
and
need
then
to be
what if-
inside, because why is you out here with us?
Well, bitch, I don't know, but this is where I got dropped off. And if you keep talking to me like that, I'm going to go back inside and I'm not helping none of you. I would be horrible. Oh, yeah. Okay. What else should we talk about? What else is going on?
That was such a great discussion. I think that we should move on to Indecisive Diane. And when we come back, we have some advice letters that we're going to read. What's up, St. Louis? I'm Medinah Monroe.
And I'm Kiki Said So, and we are CockTales Dirty Discussions. We are on the way to St. Louis Sunday, October 29th at the City Winery. Doors open at 5 p.m. and the show will start promptly at 7 p.m.
Let us tell you a little something about CockTales Dirty Discussions. We talk about dating, sex, and relationships. Who doesn't like that topic?
Exactly. And this show is going to be jam-packed with lots of jokes. We've got games, prizes, performances. You don't want to miss this. This will be the perfect date night for you guys.
Ladies' night.
Exactly. And this show will be a Halloween theme. So come out in your sexiest or scariest Halloween costumes. We can't wait to see what you guys put on. Make sure you head to citywinery.com right now and purchase your tickets.
Would you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? What do you want?
Ladies and gentlemen, listen up. CockTales Dirty Discussions is still on tour. October 27th at City Winery. They'll be at the City Winery in Chicago. Listen up, ladies and gentlemen, because you're welcome to come. Bring your friends, bring your brothers, bring your daddies. You know what I mean. Listen up. The theme is going to be Halloween, All Hallows Eve. So make sure you bring your best costume because we'll be dressed up.
All right, we are back from Indecisive Diane, and it is time for the advice segment. So this one is titled Unlucky Number 7, ? Hi, ladies. I'm a new but committed listener and wanted to thank y'all for making uncomfortable conversations comfortable. I am a 26-year-old female and have been dating my partner, 28. He's a 28-year-old male for the last 7 years. Wow. She said dating him. She didn't say they were in a relationship. So I wonder if she meant that. I'm curious. We recently made the move to live together at the end of March, and it's been a rocky road. We have moments of happiness and pockets of peace. It seems
Like what?
I get it. Living with somebody, even if you're always at each other's house, it's different when you commit to the living. It seems like we can always have fun, but the serious conversations like bills, finances, and adulthood end in us being in a bad space. I am the eldest to immigrant parents, so I grew up quick, while he's the youngest of a Black American family. We find ourselves having a rotating conversation about cleaning and taking care of things on time. I am a very get-it-done person, and you're typical 9 to 5, and you're typical 9 to 5 person. So I'm heavy on time management and scheduling. He is the opposite, a self-made entrepreneur who works from home. I was so naive and thought we've been together for so long, moving in will be fine. I didn't believe the saying too much that you learn a new point of view of your partner when y'all live together. We recently have been going through a rough patch because there was something about him I found out about, and it's caused a loss of trust and communication. I felt like everything I felt towards him in the past was severed at that very moment. He seemed like he wanted to fix things and made efforts the first week after it happened. I mean, he tracked my location when I was on the way home and met me in the garage. But since then, he hasn't done it, even though I mentioned I really like that conscious effort. He's a great communicator, and he's even sharpened my communication skills. He expresses himself well, and I appreciate that, but I don't feel seen, and I haven't. I expressed that he hasn't bought me flowers or even any kind of trinket or gift since we've moved in, let alone this year, but has bought himself a numerous pairs of shoes, clothes. We've went on 2 dates since everything has happened, and we have an enjoyable time. I feel myself having a wall up and not allowing him back in. I'm scared, and he's mentioning he wants to be seen too. How do I let him know I see him, but I'm scared to proceed? I'm stuck on what he did to me. If a sexual addiction leads someone to doing something out of their norm, even if no actions were done, but communication of actions were had, it's a breach of trust. And I found out he did that. I don't know if it's considered cheating, but it is to me. My non-negotiable has been broken. It's hard because in my mind, it's always been him. He's one of the 2 people I've been with sexually. I've always wanted to experience life with him. I told him that told him that when he gets home from a long day, I try to have a clean, smell good home with a hot meal. I'll see his car pulling up to the garage and make sure the silverware and glass full of drinks is waiting for him beside his plate. But when I get back from work from 9 to 10, there is trash.
9 times out of 10, I think is what she meant.
9 times out of 10, there is trash and dishes piled high. So I get to work on tidying the kitchen. I truly believe the purest form of love is consideration. I don't feel considered. I don't feel like I have to mention the dishes or the trash needing to be taken out. I don't feel like I should have to mention the dishes or the trash need to be taken out. I constantly do both, and it's tiring. So obviously I have an attitude. I've been heavily debating on moving back with my family once this lease ends. Some days I'm 70 out of 30. Some days I'm 80-20. They live about 20 minutes from where we stay now, and I don't know how that will change the trajectory of our relationship or what's left of it. I told him that the sad truth is if we break up, there is no need to ever speak again. The only thing we share is the apartment, but once the lease is over, we are not bound. He agreed and understood the reality of that sentence. He said, I'm family, so it's hard to even fathom what life could be like. This could be the worst breakup of my life. He wants to rebuild and make our future relationship 10 times stronger than before. How can we do that if I don't trust him or can't even get past what he did? He hurt me, and he's my best friend, but I know he has a lot of maturing to do, maybe without me in the picture. We've seen one another in so many elements of life. He's seen me from a high school sophomore to me with a master's degree, as well as him. I've seen him build his brand and business after working a typical retail position. It's undeniable that we have so much fun together, laughing and cracking jokes. It seems like we were much better when I stayed over on the weekends rather than living with one another. I know this is a rant, but any advice would suffice. Whether this is aired or not, I would love some advice. Sincerely, your unlucky listener.
All right, Miss Unlucky Listener. I have a few thoughts. One, I just stopped reading along on my phone once you said he broke one of your non-negotiables. If it's non-negotiable, what are we talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Because you said that, like, this is a deal breaker for you. If it's non-negotiable, there's no need to write us an email. Is it really a non-negotiable, or because you try to negotiate with yourself and with us? It sounds like, too, you told us about accomplishments. I heard that he's an entrepreneur multiple times in that email, and that you guys have fun together. But if you're telling us that you don't feel like he considers you, what is there really to rebuild? You didn't say anything about him making an effort to make changes towards this. You like feeling safe when you come home and that he's going to meet you in the garage. Maybe something happened, or maybe you're just fearful. Like, he could track your location any other time. Why did you track my location on day 1 and day 2 and then just forget about it? I don't like when people do like those nice gestures, but it's not really a change behavior. It's just a gesture for that day, and then we go back to our normal groove. I don't think it's going to work because it doesn't sound like he really wants to make a change. Mm-hmm. And if you're unhappy with it, like, that's okay. You're not wrong, because you should be able to want whatever it is you want from your partner. And if you've expressed these things to him and he's not making changes, what are you waiting on to change? If he doesn't want to change, he's not going to change. And no amount of time or career success is really going to make a difference in that. And then I think it sounds like you're scared of losing your friend. You're scared of starting over and all of that. But easier said than done, but you can do it. Mm-hmm. If he's not considering you, like, it's big and it's small at the same time. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're telling him, I don't like, I make sure when you get back that I'm doing this for you, but when I get back, I'm still doing work. I'm tired, and I wish that you would be more considerate. And he's not making those changes. Like, we can't make him, and I don't have a spell book to give you a spell to do it. I wish I did, so that you could abracadabra his ass, but you can't. The reality is, he needs to make the changes, and if he doesn't want to, he won't. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a few things I wanted to say too, Miss Ma'am, because I actually don't think that you are an unlucky listener. I think you're really lucky. And a positive way to look at it is, and this is something I've been trying out, and it has been working. You are lucky enough to be able to hear your inner voice, which is you telling yourself, you're not comfortable with this. And if you didn't hear that, you wouldn't be aware enough to write the email and let us know, which you don't have to, but letting yourself know you don't really like what's going on here. And like Kiki said, that's okay. Nobody wants to have breakups, but breakups do happen. If you've been with somebody for 8+ years, 10+ years, and you're like fearful of ending it, that's normal. So don't think that that's not normal. You've been with him, you said he saw you as a sophomore in high school. That's a big change to make, but the change is still okay, because think about some of the big changes that you've made throughout life and how you ended up most likely on the positive side of the change. Relationships entail a lot of communication. I've said this a lot to a lot of people that send in advice letters. With certain topics, you're going to have to keep having the discussion. Living together is a very big deal. That is why me and my boyfriend just got a house together. I still have my apartment because the fear that I have tied to like living with somebody full time. In my mind, I still am like, you still need like that space. And it's a waste of money, honestly, but it's still like, I want to make sure that like, there are certain things that we both have talked about and we really don't have any doubt about them, about the whole you got me, I got you. That is a very big step. And so if y'all are having these reoccurring conversations surrounding around essentially the type of life you want to foster and have, that is normal and you need to be having it. Now, if we not on the same page with certain things that are non-negotiables, that's on you to listen to yourself and take yourself out of the equation. It doesn't have to be a dramatic ending to a beautiful relationship. That's a conversation that needs to be had. And those conversations, I be having conversations like that in my relationship when we don't even want to break up, but there are certain things where it's like, I asked him the other day, like, if I can't get pregnant, would you still want to continue a relationship? We need to have that conversation because I am reaching that age of like, bro, what are we doing? And if I can't have a baby, like what are steps that you would want to take, or like, what are you okay with? What does your insurance cover? These are conversations that if you're in a serious relationship and someone you want to spend your life with, don't feel uncomfortable to keep bringing these things up. So I'm not going to say you need to break up or you don't. You need to keep having the conversations.
Well, I want to know what the conversation was about what he did to break your trust, because I forgot to mention that too. Was he fucking dogs or something? Was he a weird sex story? Like, what did he do about his sex addiction? Because you just tried to slide that in there along.
She slid it in and didn't tell us what it really happened. Yeah, you slid that in there
and talked about getting the trash and meeting you in the parking garage. Girl, what did he do? Was he just texting people? Does he have an OnlyFans account where he's jacking off? Is he like making phone calls? Is he on Grindr? Like, what's the tea, sis?
What is the tea?
Why you didn't tell us that? I don't care about the trash. What did he do?
But then another thing I want to add to it, because it's like people love to say like the type of person they like. She said that she likes the gestures of him checking in on her and doing those things. Has that ever been his norm? Because another thing I was just telling Warren and his wife about, like a friend of mine who was saying she loves men that travel. But you married someone who doesn't have a passport. Are we paying attention to what we're saying we like and what we're accepting? Because to me, in our big age, if I went on a date with someone and he said, this is no judgment, and if you don't have a passport, please don't take it to heart. But if I'm going on a date with you as someone who likes to travel and I keep my passport up to date, if a 30-something-year-old person was like, oh no, I've never had a passport, I already know this wouldn't work. Because it's like, now I got to teach you travel stuff. And now I got to coerce you into getting on a maybe 19-hour flight. I'm not doing that. I want to be with somebody who likes adventure. If you don't have a passport, we already are not equally yoked. Yeah, and it's like, you got to pay attention to something. If you want someone who pays attention to detail and cares about your well-being, they show those things in the very beginning.
You don't have to tell them.
You don't have to tell them.
And do you really want to have a build a nigga? Like, you just got to tell him everything. You're going to have to. Do you think about like teaching anybody anything? It takes time. Do you really feel like that?
It takes, and if you really do feel like that, then cool. That's what you like. But if you don't like
I don't think you do, because you said shit was non-negotiable. Yeah. But I also don't believe that, because you're negotiating. But I hope that you find some happiness in whatever decision that you do decide to make. I hope that you feel good about it. And I hope that you see that the grass is greener on the other side of stressing about a man who wouldn't even meet you in the parking garage and has a sex addiction of fucking animals or whatever the fuck he was doing. Okay. So we're going to move on to the cocktails. And if you have a cocktail that you want to share, make sure you email us, cocktails@cocktailspod.com. Okay, so this one says, good dick with a hairy cooch. Sometimes it happens. Hey, ladies, I'll get right into it. Okay, I matched with a guy on Facebook dating.
Okay.
I'm side-eyeing, but okay. We exchanged Instagram handles and have been talking there for 4 months or so. He's never blatantly asked...
This is a cocktail or advice? I think that's an advice.
Oh, wait, I said didn't read. My bad. Let me go down. This is long distance dick. This sounds like a good time. All right. Hey, ladies, I've watched your show for 2 months now, and I love y'all. Anyways, let me get started. So me and my nigga been long distance dating for 1.5 years now. We haven't seen each other for 5 months. So he decided to come to my city for a football game. He booked us a hotel room. When I came in the hotel room, it was rose petals on the floor. Rose petals spelling out on the bed saying, would you be mine? And I said, hell yes. The bathtub was filled with bubbles and roses. We was kissing, then he whispered in my ear, sit on my dick. And I instantly got wet. I got on top and started riding like a rodeo. He was screaming, oh shit, baby, goddamn. Water was all on the floor. Afterwards, we went for round 2 in the bed. He was pounding me from the back. It felt so good, hitting the good spot. Then he flipped me over like a pancake and started doing missionary, looking in my eyes saying, you are the most beautiful person in the world. I'm glad you're mine. And I got wetter and moaning until we both came and let out a shit. That was the long and weighted dick. At first, I thought it was going to be trash because we haven't seen each other in so long. But baby, it was worth the wait. I hope y'all enjoy it and stay tuned when the long distance ends. Oh, y'all going to be fucking all over the place. Your next cocktail should be when you get pregnant.
Or when you pop a little via hemp and then y'all have sex. Because that'll elevate your sexual experience.
It will. You'll be fucking on the clouds, okay? Thank you guys so much for listening to the show this week. Remember to send your advice to advice@cocktailspod.com. Send the cocktails to cocktails@cocktailspod.com. We are having live shows in St. Louis and Chicago. Chicago is the 27th. St. Louis is the 29th. Both at the city wineries in those cities. And it will be a Halloween theme. So come in y'all's costumes.
Get your best costumes. I can't wait to get my costume. Also, all of our shows at City Winery, you will be able to purchase a bottle of wine that literally has Kiki and I on it. So we suggest that you do that beforehand. You can go on the website and set up your drink order if it's a bottle of wine beforehand. And
they'll have it at your table for you.
And I suggest doing that because sometimes City Winery can get kind of busy and it can take
I don't
a minute
think
for you to
they'd
get
be
your
prepared
drinks.
for how much y'all like to cut up and drink. And so we tell them every time, but sometimes they're slow. So if you order the bottle of wine in advance, it will make it so much easier because then you'll have like a super VIP experience. You walk into the table, your wine is there. We already signed it. You'll meet us after. It's going to be a good time. We can't wait to see you guys. And also book your trip to Worst Behavior Tour, December 9th through 14th. Go to worstbehaviortour.com to purchase your tickets. I also put the link in the description box. So we can't wait to see you guys. And until next week, you guys, goodbye.
Bye.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Population. Goodbye. Bye. Bye.